Good evening. Good evening. Welcome to the Keeping It Real Conversation Show with your host, Camila, aka Sunshine. It is Thursday, March 23rd, 2023. I can't believe we're almost close to another month on the fourth month of the year, which is crazy. Seemed like we just woke up in January and now we're almost in April. Again, we always state that we are glad to be in the land of the living, of course. I believe in 6 degrees of separation. You're literally one person away, one advice away, one help away from where you need to be in your destiny. We're live on the Facebook page. We're live on the YouTube channel. The name of the show. It is the same thing on Twitch and Twitter. Again, follow us wherever you need to be, as well as like, share, and subscribe. As I always say, I have some of the best guests that come on this show every single week. This is no different. This guy right here has achieved so many things that most people have not. When most people wish they could do. He make it look so easy, but however, he's here tonight. We have Dr. Eddie Connor here, and we're gonna get into his bio. So, you guys, I want y'all to take notes of all the things that this man have accomplished in the short time that he has been here on this earth and still trugging along. Empowering people to overcome obstacles and walk in their unique purpose is the real life message shared by Dr. Eddie Connor, who is a survivor of stage 4 cancer. Dr. Eddie is an empowerment speaker, college professor, founder of the Eagles Academy, which empowers you to soar into success and purpose. He has also served as the president of the National Entrepreneurship Association of Michigan. As an author of 14, yes, I said it, 14 best-selling books, not just your average books. It said best-selling books. Dr. Eddie is the founder of the mentoring program Boys to Books, which empowers young males via literacy, leadership, and life skills enrichment. As an aide to former U.S. Congressman Henson Clark, is that right?
Yeah. hmm
Dr. Connor assisted in crafting a bipartisan resolution to address the urgent crisis of illiteracy in America affecting Black and Hispanic males. The resolution became for the President Barack Obama's My Brother's Keeper initiative. Dr. Eddie is also a recipient of the President of Barack Obama Volunteer Service Award and the President Barack Obama Lifetime Achievement Award from the White House. He is recognized as one of top 35 millennial influencers in America, listed in the top 100 leaders in Who's Who in Black Detroit, named to the Michigan Chronicles Top 40 Under 40, and Author of the Year by Kingdom Image Awards. You may have seen him featured on ABC, BET, CBS, Ebony, Fox, Jet, Lifetime TV, NBC, PBS, The Steve Harvey Show. What? The Tom Joyner Show, The Huffington Post, Mentoring Kings, and USA Today. He has been a guest on The Potter's Touch and was an empowerment speaker at Bishop T.D. Jakes Mega Fest. He was featured in the acclaimed BET documentary It Takes a Village to Raise Detroit. He is also stars in the movie Lady Luck 2. As a highly sought after communicator, Dr. Eddie speaks intensively at churches, colleges, conferences by empowering people to maximize their purpose. Dr. Eddie Connor grew up in Kingston, Jamaica, and currently lives in Detroit, Michigan. You guys, I want you to welcome Dr. Eddie Connor to the show.
Appreciate you. Appreciate you. Glad to get a little sunshine with sunshine today.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We needed it with all this dreadful off and on rain today we had in Detroit.
That's the truth.
So let's get to the beginning. So it said that you lived in Jamaica. You were born in Jamaica.
No, I just grew up there.
Grew up there.
My parents were, prior to their divorce, were missionaries to the island. So it was a great experience to be there, uh, seeing them work in ministry, but just the beauty and the magnitude of Jamaica, despite sometimes the depravity.
Hmm. So what could you say is, I guess, a big difference between being in Jamaica and in the United States?
Well, weather, of course. That's definitely one. Definitely do miss the weather. I think it is being from the D, we are determined, but I think Jamaicans are incredibly resilient. Jamaicans are straight up hustlers, and that's probably
Hmm.
why I am a person who's going to juggle a whole bunch of jobs myself today.
Hmm.
They will stretch $100 out of a dime, and it is their resiliency. It's the fact that they're just a loving, caring people. When they say Jamaica, no problem, yeah, man, they really say no problem. It's just gonna be, sweat off my back. I'm not gonna worry about it. I'm not gonna stress about it. And they're faith-filled people. Sometimes we won't drive around the block to go to church. They'll walk
Hmm.
miles to get there.
Hmm.
So I think it is their hunger and their hustle that really I have adopted and has made me who I am. And so I like the song, the national theme song says, "Jamaica land we love." Uh,
Absolutely. So let's go back to the beginning. Um, in growing up, did you have an idea that you would be different? Like, did you feel different as far as different from your peers?
I would say so, especially coming back from Jamaica. Um, I had a Jamaican accent, and so I used to get teased about it. Uh, and I felt different right then and there. I grew up playing soccer. Here in the
Okay.
States, you got to play ball, you got to play basketball or football. So I picked up the basketball, just trying to fit in. But I still felt, hey, that I was different. Most children my age at that time had never been on a plane, much less lived in another place on the planet outside of the 9 mile radius of
Hmm.
their own world. So I had a global perspective as a young kid.
So what about like reading and your education part? Did you feel like you were different from the kids as well?
That's a good question because when I went to school over in Jamaica and came back to the States, they wanted to double promote me. The education, the British education was so far advanced
Mm.
than the American school system. My
Hmm.
mother said, "No, you're gonna stay with your peers. We don't want you to be too far ahead." And with development and maturation physically and things of that nature. So yeah, I felt reading and math and all that stuff. I was well ahead.
Hmm.
But come my high school years, my grades didn't really reflect that. I didn't really have a love for school as much as I did when I was in Jamaica. I started just to enjoy gym and lunch.
I
Those are my
understand.
favorite two classes. You feel me?
I understand.
Yeah.
So with, I guess, looking back on those, your decision with your parents' decision for holding you and saying, look, you need to be with your peers, do you feel like that actually hindered you or did that help you?
Um, I wish I would have probably experienced it because it's a what if. What if, I would have been double promoted? What would that have been like? When you think about Martin Luther King Jr. graduating from high school,
Early.
enrolling in college at 16. You know what I'm saying? That's unprecedented. So it is a what if, but I think it all evened out. I think it all worked out the way it should have. But it is the what if. Yeah.
I think a lot of us, I had the opportunity to be double promoted as well, and my
Mm.
mom said no. Um,
Wow.
there was the advancement of an elementary, like, okay, go to base academy, different things of that nature. And she was like, yeah, no, I think she still needs the social skill with the people around her.
Mm-hmm.
And some things I'm like, maybe it would have took me a different path of maybe not. We have a habit of trying to fit in with everybody else and dumbing ourselves down to try to fit in with everybody else when
Yeah.
I could have, been challenged, um, and accepted the challenges, and yeah, that kind of thing. So I felt like sometimes that was a hindrance for me on
Mm-hmm.
being lackadaisical because everybody else around me is, I want to say mediocre. I don't want to say that.
Mm-hmm.
But not really challenging. So I would get in trouble on the because I was bored. Because
Right.
it,
Yeah.
it I
Yeah.
was
I
bored.
was I was there too. Yep. No
I was
challenge. Mm-hmm.
And so it was, now I gotta do extra work. And I'm still finishing early and everybody else is, so now I'm bored and now I'm about to mess with them.
Right.
So
Yeah.
yeah, that was
I
fun.
feel you. Mm-hmm.
So we're this elementary, we're in middle school. In these younger stages of your life, were you drawn to reading in words and books or fantasy? What is it about? Because you're on the educational path, right?
Right. Right.
So did
Yep.
you see this when you were younger?
No, not at all. I was into the arts too. I was into sports and the arts. I actually played violin
Hmm,
as a kid. Yeah, I used to get teased about that.
I'm
Imagine a
sure.
little imagine a black boy walking to school with a big old violin. Not band. Band gonna get teased too, but at least you had a trumpet. At least you were playing percussion or
Right, or the
drums or something like
percussion,
that.
yes. Mhm.
But I'm in the orchestra and with a Fila rum balls on and a high top fade, playing with, maybe it was another guy or two in there with me, but primarily just women, young girls. And I'm playing in the orchestra, and I'm really good. I played by ear, and I was in the
Mhm.
Detroit Symphony Orchestra at one point. But
Wow.
they teased me so bad that I said I'm putting the violin down, and I was trying to play trumpet, and my cheeks were looking like Dizzy Gillespie. So, and I came home with sore lips every day,
Wow.
trying to fit in, because I probably could have been a hip hop violinist today. So,
So
yeah,
that's another subway into trying to
right,
fit in,
yeah,
and you could have been something totally different
true.
if you stuck with it, not trying to fit in with everybody else. Because as I always state, being a trailblazer is definitely different. It's a different path. People are
Hmm.
not going to understand the vision or whatever you have to do, but God called you to do something different from everyone else. And sometimes, being in those moments, it's a lonely road.
Oh, without a doubt, yeah,
It's real
it is,
lonely.
yeah.
And we as humans, we don't like being alone.
Right.
So
The air's
yeah,
thinner when you go higher.
whew, yes, and everybody
Yeah,
can't, rise up to the that point. They can't.
right.
Everybody don't have the lung capacity. You got to
Come
train
on,
yourself.
come on.
You literally have to train yourself in different aptitudes. And nobody really understands that until you hear it from athletes who might have been on the East Coast and have to go to Colorado, and they
Right.
like, I'm about to pass out. Why? And they like, oh, we used to this because we live here.
Hmm.
Now you got to train yourself how to
Yeah.
breathe differently. So wow, now I done heard two different times where you didn't stop doing something because you tried to fit in with everybody else.
Yeah. As a kid, identity crisis is everything, you know? Yeah.
Jeez.
Try to fit where you don't belong.
Try to fit where you, oh my goodness.
Yeah.
That's a preach right there.
Come on now. You could take
That
a
is
text right now.
right
Go ahead.
now.
Go ahead, take your text.
Jeez. I mean to tell you, that is really it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, so now we done heard. I'm all like tapping into these things, and I'm like, okay, now what we gonna find out somewhere else that he was like, you know what, this time I'ma listen.
Right.
So we now understand, and what I'm hearing is God had already had you on a different path,
Hmm.
and actually two different areas already. But of course, as humans, we have free will and choice.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's a preach right there too.
That's
We have free will and choice, and we
right.
choose sometimes against what he wants. Now, even in that, he knew you was gonna choose something different. But what
Hmm.
he'll do is he'll give you time to figure it out, and you'll end up getting back on the path that he chose for you. So now that we got that out the way, educated, talented, gifted. And so the orchestra was that was middle school or high school?
Middle school.
Okay, so what is the next moment for Dr. Connors after middle school?
Well, after middle school, I was really picking up the basketball, and I remember playing in church leagues, and you got me going into the archives in my mind now. I
Just
remember
saying.
playing I remember playing in church leagues, and I was always a super competitive kid. I remember playing in church leagues, and they had to throw me out the game. I'm probably about 10 years old. I got these basketball trophies and stuff like that. They had to throw me out the game because I was yelling at the ref. As a kid, you idolize your sports heroes, and mine was Michael Jordan. And I saw how he was so intense on the court, and I'm emulating that on the court to where my mama had to pull me to the side. Son, what are you doing? We yelling at no ref. Play your
Mhm.
game. Let the ref make the call, but don't be embarrassing me because I'm gonna have to discipline you,
Right, right.
right? So, I think that competitive fire and that energy, I had to learn how to channel that. And when I got to high school, you know, uh, I think it was a very it was a precarious time for me because my parents had gone through a divorce. My father was not, in the home, and the question becomes how do you become a man if you don't see one? How do you play a role if you weren't given a script? And the man I look like the most seemingly cared for me the least, and I'm dealing with chest pains around the age of 15. Didn't really want to talk about it because, as boys becoming men, you got to be hard, you got to be tough. Don't cry. Pain is weakness, even the body. You fall off a bike at the age of 4, stand up, be a man. I'm 4 now,
Yep.
44.
Hmm.
So dealing with all that and the chest pains, and my mother's saying something's not right with you, something's going on, and I'm like, no, I'm good, I'm good. And it literally feels as I'm over at my friend's house during Christmas vacation, watching a football game, can't breathe by halftime. I'd been having chest pain for a couple weeks, and it felt like somebody was stabbing me in my chest, right in my heart. And
Hmm.
we don't have a license. I don't have a license to drive. He don't have a license to drive either. His mother has to pick me up, take me to the hospital. My mother meets me there, and the doctors are swirling all around my hospital bed, and they're doing a CT scan of the chest. They initially thought it was a punctured lung, and they see that they need to take me to surgery immediately. My cells in my body are growing so fast that they could see them growing with the naked eye when they took me to surgery. And I had a tumor around my heart, my trachea, my esophagus, my voice box. And I felt great coming out of surgery. Doctor says, Eddie, hold on. Don't think about basketball. Don't think about gym and lunch in school. You have what we call NHL. Now, Sunshine, I thought I hit the lottery. I
Hmm.
said, I'm getting ready to be the youngest owner of a National Hockey League team.
Right, right,
I don't even like the Red Wings.
right,
You
right,
know, he's like, no, you have non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. I'm like, Doc, my first language is Ebonics. I'm still trying to learn English. What is
right,
that?
right. What is
He
that?
says, right. He says, you have not one, not two, not three, but four. I'm filling my pockets to find $4. He says, stage 4 cancer. I'm like, I'm just starting my life. Now I'm fighting for my life. Stage 4 cancer, that's a death sentence. Because I knew my best friend that I grew up with, he died of cancer. My cousin died of cancer. My aunt died of cancer. So to experience all of that and to hear that, I'm like, I guess I'm next. And, it was a painful time, chemo radiation for 5 days a week out of school my sophomore year. Um, Losing my hair, to watch your own hair follicles come out of your head, um, to wake up in the morning and see your hair in your hands and you run into the mirror and you crying, bawling out of control. It was the prayers of my mama. Like Song said, my mama prayed for me, had me on her mind, took the time to pray for me. And she said, hey, you're not going to die. You're not going to give up in this. Her love for me made me fight because I was ready to go. She said, you got to go to Psalm 118 and 17, which says, you shall not die, but live and declare the works of the Lord. And so to find the cancer, to even go back to Jamaica, where I grew up, and take a vacation while I was getting chemo and radiation to preach my first message there, to get the people to have those people pray for me. The prayers of the righteous availeth much. And, cancer made me cry, but it didn't make me quit. So blessed
Wow.
to live through dying places. 2023 is 23 years being cancer free.
Amen.
Yeah.
Wow. And the ironic thing about how God do things. So on Tuesday, I just had a doctor who does radiation therapy. And I'm not putting two and two together that I just had a doctor on for radiation therapy. And now I have
Wow.
one who actually survived cancer.
Mm.
I'm like, God, you're amazing.
Wow.
And her reasoning for going to radiation therapy was her father found out he had prostate cancer.
Mm.
Um, and she went to school for that just to make sure she knew the disease. She knew the early stages of what needs to be done. Even she's fighting laws and regulations now to make sure that people can get earlier mammograms and things of that nature instead of waiting till you're 40, waiting until you actually, they're saying, no, you don't have it. It's just this, it's just that. No, if we caught it and you listened to me earlier, I might have
Mm-hmm.
still been here. So
Mm.
it's a different type of survival story when you're a kid
Yeah.
and seeing, possibly seeing your life before you, like, wow, I'm 15. Why do I have this burden to bear?
Mm-hmm.
In your opinion, going through this as a 15-year-old, what do you think was God purpose for you during this time?
That's a great question because my first question was why me? Why now? Now, one of the things that was so, when I think about it in retrospect, which is crazy to me, when the doctor gave me the diagnosis, he told me this. He's like, don't ask why. Like, you give me a diagnosis and you telling me what not to ask? What kind of follow up is that? No,
Hmm.
you my physician, you're not my psychologist. And for the next 18 months, 2 years, close to it, the chemo and the radiation and me asking why me, why now? Something that's going through that, I wouldn't even have wished it on my worst enemy because of the depression, the mental discombobulation, the pain beyond just the spinal taps and the needles driven into your veins, just all of it, and coming out of cancer, I think the answer I received was the fact that my testimony, the test became the testimony. And it's as if God was speaking to me. This is why I allowed you to go through this, so that you could be a testament and a testimony that I'm still a miracle worker. That you can go through the fire and you still don't smell the smoke. And this is the thing. We love God's deliverance, but we don't really shout about sustenance.
Mm-mm.
You
We don't like that
know,
process. Mm-mm.
right. The miracle of the woman with the issue of blood is not that she was healed, but that she was sustained for 12 years. The miracle for me is, yes, I was healed, but it's also that he sustained me in the midst of the chemo and the radiation, in the midst of the fact that the tumor had already grown and metastasized, but I was still alive.
And still growing.
Right.
Wow.
So not just deliverance, but sustenance, to let them know that, yes, I can deliver you, I can heal you, but I can also sustain you in the midst of the struggle.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is a ultimate um an awesome story, as we say, story, because now this is recorded. This is in the books. This is
Yeah.
not just ringing the bell. It's the
Mm.
lifestyle change. It's the every
Yeah.
day that I wake up, I'm grateful. I'm really grateful because I remember when
Mm-hmm.
I was in a hospital, couldn't get up, couldn't go out, couldn't do this, couldn't do that. But yet and still, I'm still here and I'm cancer free.
Yeah.
That is wow. And I'm thinking, as I say, God be talking to me. I want you to point out this. In this, you learn God's greatest love, right?
Mm.
His great love. We're coming up on Easter, and you understand what Jesus went through for our healing. What he went through for just for us to breathe, just for us to have hope and faith in tomorrow. Is I got to pull on something.
Mm.
My mom is here, but she can't save me. Yes, God. In those moments at nighttime when she might have had to go home, I know there was conversations with God. Had to be.
Oh yeah.
Because when we were young and we have dreamed up in our minds what our life is going to look like, what our destiny is going to look like, we're never saying we're going to come up with a disease.
No. No, we don't put that in there.
No, we don't. No, that's not in the scripts. Who put that in there?
Right. Exactly. Right.
Uh,
Who wrote this
I,
in here?
who
What?
wrote this in here?
Yeah.
Because I sure didn't. So I understand completely that sometimes we say, God has a sense of humor. Even in our pain, he's still looking out for us.
Mm.
That God is, he's such
Right.
an amazing um, person that it is just, it's hard to put him in words
Mm.
because we'll never understand it. We'll never get the whole gist of him. It's too much and we can't handle it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So now that we have survived cancer, what does that next step look like for you?
Yeah. I remember. If we had the movie The Color Purple on the screen, I'd say just like Sophia tonight. All my life, I had to
I had to
fight.
fight.
So I felt like the battles kept coming for me.
Woo!
Yeah, I remember I was about 17 at this time, and I'm in my guidance counselor's office, and all the seniors are getting excited, juniors are getting excited for the next level, and I'm coming out of the office upset. And what transpired in the office is that she said, Eddie, you ain't going to college. Matter of fact, don't think about community college. Pick up a trade. Because she saw she knew my favorite two classes in school were gym and lunch, and my grades reflected
Mm-hmm.
that. And I said, all right, I've been through the worst already. I mean, I've been through cancer. I'm not going to let a counselor from a
Mm,
guidance counselor where I got no guidance or counseling, tried to
mm,
stop me. And so I
mm,
wrote an essay to Eastern Michigan University, and I got in on probation. I got in on academic
woo,
probation. And if I did not perform well my first semester, I was not going to be on the college campus. And so I
mhm,
went from like a 2.7 graduating from high school to a 3.7 in my first semester at EMU.
mm.
And it was letting me know, like, hey, you out of your mama's nest now. You got to spread your own wings. You got to soar on your own. You got to grow up real fast, quick, fast, in a hurry. And I came there as a very, very shy kid, but I left that campus as a man, and a mature one as well. I mean, there were times where I didn't have the finances to stay on college, and my mom said, "Hey, you know what? You've exhausted the money for college. You got to find a way to stay up there, or you're gonna have to come back to the house and pay rent." And so I had to write essays, and I started to find out that I was pretty good as a writer, and I was getting scholarships and grants, and became a resident advisor and things of that nature. And so I was able to really put myself through school and find a way to make something of myself.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's an awesome pivot from,
yeah,
going through cancer to hearing another set of bad news to say, look, if I can handle and kick cancer butt, I can handle anything.
yeah.
Um, the perseverance of being on that campus. Um, did you join any groups like fraternities or anything like that when you were there?
No, I was recruited a few times, but I just didn't feel like it was for me, and I knew probably my grades were gonna suffer, and I said, hey, I'm here. Y'all are trying to recruit me as a junior or senior now. I came this far on my own. Let me just keep it going. I remember one time I came back home uh, from a little break on college campus or whatever the case may be, and I'm at a convenience store. A guy inconveniences me. He recognizes me from church. I recognize him. He don't say what up though. He don't say hello. He don't say what's good, bro. He walk up to me and say, "I thought you died." Now, sunshine. I was so angry. I was getting ready to have a Will Smith, Chris Rock moment, and I wasn't gonna be Chris.
Right.
My fist balled up so strong. I was getting ready to go oops upside that brother's head. I was gonna have an assault charge. I didn't even know what emotional intelligence was at this time. But
Right.
something came over me to where it was able to calm me down because my blood was boiling. And it was just a reminder to me that so many people gave up on me. And even I was the one who almost gave up on myself.
My
But
God.
to be confronted by somebody like that who just said something like, those are fighting words.
Yeah.
Still to this day, I still feel it. And it's been years. But
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So it was the Holy Ghost that got hold of me because I was going to get a hold of him.
I'm sure. And right every soul.
Yeah, yeah.
Wow. So he just put you in the grave, huh?
Telling you. And there were other people who probably thought it, just didn't say it. But he had the unmitigated gall to try to come up in my face and say that to me.
That is
Yeah,
crazy.
yeah.
Wow. The right choice,
Mhm.
yes. Daydon, yes. He's saying that you made the right choice.
Yeah, I made
Um,
the right choice for sure.
any moment could have turned real
Yeah,
ugly.
yeah, real
Um,
ugly.
being black in Detroit,
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
oh, they would have had a field day with you.
Oh, without a
Um,
doubt.
and so those moments going back to campus and saying, look, I want to finish, I want to go all the way. Were there people around you as far as mentors?
Yeah, thankfully. I had mentors on a college campus. I remember Dr. Ron Woods is a professor on a college campus at Eastern Michigan. And even prior to that, I had mentors who didn't look like me, that
Mm.
I really had no experience in dealing with brothers and sisters who didn't look like me.
Mm-hmm.
And it was during my time, especially right before I went to college, a man by the name of Mr. Tom Wenham, his wife was my homebound teacher when I wasn't able to go to school.
Mm-hmm.
And he took me to my first baseball game. I'm going to a baseball game with a white man, and I had really no connections or even interactions with white people outside of going to the high school at that particular time, and it was culture shock. And but to see, I learned that just because somebody doesn't look like you doesn't mean they can't fight for you, and it kind of
Mm.
changed my perspective on race
Yes,
and being able to see people for who they are, not just for the skin that they're in,
absolutely.
um, and still being cognizant and conscious of me being a black boy, a black man, and I've always been color conscious and race conscious. So it opened up a different perspective for me to embrace people of different persuasions and ethnicities. Um,
Um, that is a good point. I tell people all the time. I went to the University of Michigan for 2 years, the Ann Arbor
mm,
campus, and my freshman year, um, the city of Ann Arbor and IPSI allowed the Ku Klux Klan members to march down our diag with the
whoa.
sheets, the hoods, the shotguns. And my first thought was, it's 1996. What the hell is this?
Mm, mm,
Now, the moment is, I seen this in movies. I heard my grandmas talk about it. I've seen them in all these documentaries. I never said I didn't believe that this happened or that they
right.
exist. But this is 1996, and I'm on a well known college. What in the world is
Mm,
going on? I had the fortunate or blessing that my neighborhood was mixed until, some of them are still there. My neighbor, what to my right, was Caucasian. Some
mm,
across the street were Caucasian. No, she's still there. But I never had that moment of black, white, this and that. No, we just love each other. We make
mm,
sure that all of us are, that was my village. And then of course, you within that moment, you always have that skin difference of being lighter than our other folks.
mm,
So I always got
mm.
teased like, yeah, you got white people in you. Oh, okay. And what does, I'm sure we all
Yeah,
got something.
we are right.
So why does that matter? So to have those moments in 1996, freshman, and my first thought was, everybody um, that I knew or didn't know of any ethnic other than white was messed up. I
Mm,
automatically ran back to my dorm, called my grandma, like, I'm ready to pack up and leave because I'm fearful of my life
right,
because this
right.
just happened. And she said, "You will not. God got you here for a reason, and He's going to watch over you. He's going to protect you. You didn't get this far for no reason."
Mm,
He said, "But what I want you to do is keep your eyes open."
right. Yeah.
I said, "Okay, I get it." But from that moment, it never changed me on how I look or deal with other people. Yes, okay, some people have that issue. I don't. But at the moment of, I'm gonna move forward, my mentors, none of them were black.
Mm,
None of them.
wow, wow.
So either I accept the help or you don't.
Mm,
Why would you sit there and be ignorant of your choosing because the person who's helping you is not of your background?
right, right.
No. So I understand. And then the moment of we realize we have more in common than we are different. And you'll never know
Mm.
that until you start talking,
Powerful. It's true.
until you have conversations. So, what we
Hmm.
do here is not interviews. I'm having a conversation with another human being.
Yeah.
And when we find out pieces, you like, oh, that happened to me too. Oh my God, we
Mm.
lived in the same neighborhood. Wow, these different things happen. And you like, now it draws us closer because we
Yeah.
have things in common. So now that we
Mm.
know that you're excelling at EMU, you have mentors, you have made a conscious decision that I will be successful. I'm going to prove everybody wrong who put me in the grave. That's a statement.
Yeah.
That's
Hmm.
a lifestyle that most people don't get the privilege to live.
Hmm.
So now that we have gone through these moments, you have graduated from, you did graduate from EMU, right?
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
And sometimes we,
Yeah, degree
we
in education.
transfer, right? We transfer
Yeah, yeah.
sometimes.
No, I
So what
stayed
did
there.
you go to? What did you major in?
Yeah, I majored in secondary education, focus in history. Uh, that was one of my favorite subjects in school. So I did a history major, and I wanted to keep the sports component. So I had minored in phys ed,
Hmm,
physical education. Yeah. Uh,
that's funny.
my,
So
my
that's what I was
my
going to
former
school
professor would hate for me to say phys ed. He said there's no phys in physical education.
for. Wow.
But yeah, I went ahead and did both of those, and so a lot of people think physical education is just you throwing a volleyball or you hitting a volleyball, playing volleyball, basketball, whatever. No, you got to learn anatomy and physiology.
Yes.
You got to learn the bones and the muscles. It was a arduous course to take.
So that goes along with, is it kinesiology?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
There you go. Yep.
See, I know a little something.
Come
Little,
on, you got it. Don't-
little
I
something.
I probably got some homework still due. What did you study up at U of M?
So I was going to be a teacher, second ed,
Oh,
um,
okay.
and I was going to try to catch them early. So I think I was going to do middle school and
Oh, okay.
studying English. I love English.
Mm.
So the point of learning the fantasy world, or you could create whatever you want, and no wrong or no right reasons to it. Um,
Yeah.
that was the love of words and expressing yourself through your tribulations and your trials. And so I
Hmm.
thought it would be cool to teach that way. But God had another idea. Instead of teaching in the classroom, he had me educating through experiences.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah. So I never got a chance to finish school, but God had me in a different type of school.
Hmm. Yeah. Sometimes we go through the school of hard knocks. We go to the University of
Woo,
Adversity.
absolutely. Say that right.
You
I don't
know.
want to go back to them schools, but
Right. Right.
however,
Right. You got a PhD in your experience.
yes, Lord have mercy. And I don't want to go
I'm
back.
telling you. Right.
So my
Right.
point is, I try to educate, learn the lessons, and pass them on. So we don't
Hmm.
have people just wasting time and wasting or getting to the point of hitting the same brick wall when you don't have to. I hit it enough for both of us.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep.
So let's get into the empowerment speaker, the college professor, and the founder of the Eagles Academy. Where did all of this come from?
Sometimes I ask the same question. I think it really came from my my experience in my senior year. My mother was really impressed upon me, you need to write a book. I'm like, I need to write a what? I'm trying to, I don't even write a letter home. Write a book. And, of course, I'm letting it go in one ear out the other. And, she would let me know, hey, it's been 6 months since I told you, you ain't got nothing on paper yet. And she basically gave me a homework assignment. I need XYZ a chapter done by a certain amount of time. And I'm like, I'm not writing no story because I didn't want to touch on the cancer. I didn't want to
Mm-hmm.
really talk about that. It was kind of embarrassing for me. And she said, it's a testimony. Somebody needs what you have. And as I was writing, I was healing. I had some bitterness towards my father. He never showed up one day for me in the hospital.
Woo.
People I thought were praying for me were literally praying on me, gave up on me, didn't think much of me. I didn't think much of myself. Uh, I was not the most likely to succeed from high school. In many cases, I was the least likely to succeed. And so I bottled all that up and put my pain on paper and turned into power. I didn't go to therapy at that time, but writing became therapeutic for me.
Mm-hmm.
And looking at my mortality, looking at spirituality, looking at my mentality, and putting that all together to empower people to overcome obstacles. And I said, I'm only going to write this one book so I can get my mama off my back.
That's what you thought.
And that's what I thought. But after everybody ask you the first one, when do they
When
always
you
say,
doing
hey,
the second one?
when is the second one coming? And so, it really just kind of just blossomed and ballooned into the fact that I really started enjoying and loving the writing process. And I never thought I would be writing books on the beauty and the battles of black women. I never thought I'd be writing about the mask of masculinity. I never thought I'd be writing about unwrapping your gift and the adverse treatment that black boys experience in these yet to be United States of America, with prisons based on second and third grade reading scores. I never thought I'd be doing what I'm doing now. I never wanted to do what I'm doing now. I was a shy kid, so to be a speaker, I didn't see myself doing that at all. Started in church, started with the American Cancer Society, telling my story, and it's ballooned and blossomed to TV and media and shows with you, people like yourself. Um, you know, I had a lot of dark moments, so to experience some sunshine,
Absolutely.
pun intended,
Yes, point intended.
is yeah, has been a beautiful struggle. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah,
So while you're talking, I'm all like, okay, come on, Moses. Moses didn't want to free the people. Moses said,
it's
why,
true.
why me? I got a
Right.
stuttering problem.
Yeah,
I just killed somebody. You
yeah,
show me?
yeah.
Yes, you, doctor.
Hmm.
My, I'm not a doctor. You are. I'm just saying.
the, God can use the least likely to do the most mighty.
Please,
He don't call
right?
qualified people. He qualifies those he calls.
And when we think about all the great exploits or exploits in the
Hmm.
Bible, it was from people who didn't want to,
Yeah.
who was like, I got a drinking problem. I stutter. I this.
Hmm.
I'm that. I'm the least. I'm this. This, this, this. He like, are you done?
Yeah.
Because you still gonna be chosen.
Yep.
So not only did you not want to write a book,
Oh
it
no.
say on this paper, this one right here that I was reading, stumbling over words, but however I got through it. It say you wrote 14
You sure that ain't a
best,
typo?
and I got on my good glasses. 14 best-selling books.
Yeah.
Hmm. That don't look like, that don't sound like somebody who wasn't chosen.
Yeah. It's true. It's
Hmm.
true.
All right. That's what it say on this paper that I'm reading. It also say not only you served on and serve with great people in Michigan.
Mhm.
And we know with ministry, come on, we gonna go there. With ministry, the whole point is to serve.
Yeah.
And God will give us grace for the gift. The
Mm.
gift will make room for you.
Come on now.
It's happening as we speak. The gift will continue to make room for you because you serve a great God.
Yeah.
See, I'm on my own show, so I can talk about God.
Come
You
on
know
now.
what I
Come
mean?
on now. Come on now.
I can
You're
talk
right.
about him.
It's
So,
all him.
all of it.
Yeah.
The obedience, right, is what's gonna open the doors. You can't get nothing from God not being obedient. Period.
Mhm.
So it say you served as president of the National Entrepreneurs Association of Michigan, right? Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Um, and that means the entrepreneurs. That means you know you have business of your own, right?
Without a doubt. Yeah.
Oh, I'm a little bit educated. So in order for you to be the president of it, that means you know a little bit about business.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So
Well,
let's talk about the business that you know.
well, uh, I'm trying to think where do I start? I think it is first for me. I had to identify that I have gifts, I had talents, and how I could not just keep those talents to myself, but how to help other people. You know, Zig Ziglar said, if you help people get what they want, you'll get what you want. And so, stirring up the gift, as you talk about your gift making room for you. Don't matter if the room is crowded, it's gonna still make room for you. And so, whether that's through the publishing, whether that's through the mentoring programs I've developed, 501c3 with my Vision Summit, or just even the speaking prowess, that I've been able to latch a hold to. All of that has been ministry in the marketplace. And everybody may not have a pulpit, but we do have a platform.
You better
And
say
so,
it.
yeah. And so I think it is really being purpose driven and really honing in and tapping into what is my skill set? What are my gifts? A job is what you're paid for. Your calling and your purpose is what you're made for.
You almost made me get up off this couch and run around this living room.
Go ahead and take you a praise break. It's all right.
Where is the organ when I need him? What?
We don't need no music, is what we used to say. There you go. Don't you start nothing. Hey, don't start none, won't be none.
Woo! Yes, sir.
We don't need no music. That's a
Yo,
throwback for sure. It's Throwback Thursday, so
it
that's a
is.
throwback for sure.
Woo! Yes, sir. Mm, hallelujah. Ooh. So now we understand, as Cassandra is saying, you got to reach down into your toolbox of gifts.
Yeah,
Because
that's great.
God gave us plenty. And one thing I want people to understand that we have, if we're, fasted after God and He's multi, that means there's multiple in you. You're
Mm,
not just one dimension. So
right.
there's other things, even at different levels and ages. You find out you could do more. Like, wait, I
Yeah.
could. When did I learn how to? He's like, yeah, it's been in you all this time.
Mm,
Now it's
yeah.
time for you to tap in.
Right.
It's time for you to tap in. Let's
Most
get into.
people are successful after 40 than they are before.
You say
Most
after
people don't
who?
realize it. Most people are successful in their life post 40 than they are before. So a lot of people feel like, oh, you've hit 40, 50 years old age, your life is over. No. You think about Viola
Well,
Davis, she didn't hit her peak till she was after
we
40.
what? Come on now, Angela Bassett. Come on, listen
Right,
here.
right. The
That means I'm about to
race is not given to the swift or to the strong.
listen. This big toe about to step into the water. That's what's about to happen.
Come on now. Come
Cause
on,
that
launch out into the deep.
come on. 45 is looking good.
There you go.
Hallelujah. Yes, Lord.
Yeah. You're
So,
just hitting your stride.
woo! You're gonna make me get up off this couch now.
Your ladder shall be greater.
Yes, sir.
You're going to restore the years.
He go, oh, ooh. Listen here.
You over there fanning now. It done got hot over there.
Thank you, Jesus. That's all I can say. You lucky I ain't got no wig on right now.
So I'm coming for your edges. I'm gonna snatch every single one of them. Ain't gonna have no edges when I'm through with you.
Woo! None whatsoever. The whole glued and clips and everything is gone. Oh, Lord.
Hilarious. You ain't supposed to be having me act up like this tonight. I'm just trying to be real cool, calm, and collected.
You can't. You can't. This is what I bring to the table. Oh, God.
Hilarious. This conversation.
Woo! Jesus. All right. I can't even see right now. Lord Jesus. It needs my good glasses. So, Lord. So you developed the mentorship program. And what was that about? Was that because of things that you saw in the system, or was that just a personal thing that you wanted to do?
It was a little bit of both. I did my master's at Marygrove, and I was focusing on. I took a deep dive into literacy, looking at illiteracy and incarceration being interconnected, and how Black men are warehoused at a disproportionate rate in America, which is incarceration nation, which houses 95% of the world's prison population.
Mm-hmm.
And I was teaching at this time, and I saw whenever it was time for reading in class, when boys opened up books, they closed their eyes. They got the best naps. And I realized it was due to the fact of what they were reading. Walter D. Myers, who's written over 100 books, said, books transmit values. If I'm not in the book, what does that say about my value? And so I had to provide culturally relevant literature to where our boys saw their lives reflected in what they read. We got to give them, we want them to read The Great Gatsby, but let's give them some books that speak to their greatness. Let's give them Letters to a Young Brother. Let's give them Monster. Let's give them Make Me Want to Holler. Let's give them, books written by Black people, to let them know that, it's not just white or otherwise who only writes books. It's actually people like yourself who tell our stories. And so, and then it was another thing as well. It was an opportunity for me to mentor, quote unquote, my 13, 14, 15-year-old self when I didn't have one. That was the primary reason why I developed a mentoring program, because of what I didn't have. I didn't have that big brother or that mentor at that age when I was struggling. And to see these young brothers with absentee fathers, and that was my testimony, with people who have given up on them, with them dealing with emotional issues and trying to develop and learn what's the difference between what's the difference between a male and a man. How do I shift from boyhood to manhood and mature? And it's been powerful. Many of the brothers who have been in our mentoring sessions have graduated from college. They're tailors now. They're in corporate world, but they're also in trade schools, doing engineering degrees, all types of things. And so I'm just glad to just sow some positive seeds into the lives of our new generation leaders.
So when you we're able to get these monumental awards from the former president Barack
Yeah.
Obama,
Yeah.
listed as the top 35 millennial influencer in America, top 40, top this, top that. I mean, how does that make you feel, or what is the next motivation beyond this? I mean, because I know you ain't stopping, so
Yeah.
what we doing?
It's humbling to me, because I know that I come from humble beginnings. And it is what Denzel Washington said. He said, "Man gives an award, God gives a reward." It is the fact that service is the rent we pay for the space we occupy. So
Mm,
receiving an award is just a reminder to me I still got more work to do. Let me roll up my sleeves. I'll celebrate for the moment, but tomorrow is on to the next thing. It's on to the next one. Let me get back to the drawing board and roll up my sleeves and do more work to transform our lives and transform our communities. That's
absolutely.
really what it's about. Yeah.
I talk often about um, we need our village back.
Yeah. Yeah.
The village was not just my house, my family. It was the neighbors. It was the church. It was the school. It was everywhere we went. Someone was there to cultivate, to protect, to support, to push, all of these things.
Hmm.
And when we all come back together and stop being selfish, all we want to do is help. I'm not jealous of you. I'm confident in my own self, right?
Hmm. Yeah.
I don't have to do any backdoor things to try to get ahead of you. When it's my time, best believe it's my time.
Yeah. Exactly.
I want to see everybody win.
Hmm.
And so we have been saturated with this negative narrative. And one of my things is I have more black males on my show than I have females. Why? It's because
Mm.
I want to show the opposite of what we've been shown. I know a lot of black males that are doing great things, that are in their household with their children. Actually, single fathers with no mothers
Hmm.
around
Hmm.
that are taking care of their kids by any means necessary,
Yeah.
not selling drugs, got factory jobs, doing all these things to try to make sure that their children don't become a statistic. So again, it's great to know somebody from the D, from Detroit, and I ain't talking about Dallas. Sorry, when I say
No, that ain't the D.
that's Detroit, right?
That's
I'm
right.
just saying.
That's right. That's right.
Because when they say the D, they be thinking Dallas. No, no, no.
No,
We the D.
that's
So
right.
in those moments of saying, look, we got to take a stand. I'm out here making sure that the young black men, young black girls see positive faces out here. And we
Hmm.
all don't look alike, but we out here doing something to make sure we covering up the holes. You ain't got to fall down a pit hole. You don't got to go sell your body. You got brains,
Yeah.
and that makes you dangerous.
Oh yeah.
You got imagination. That really makes you dangerous.
Hmm.
When you are creative, that makes you dangerous. Get dangerous. But however, you're out here on the front line. This thing said, with my good glasses, hold that thought.
Hmm.
At least 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 major. Nope, it's more than that. However, he been on a lot of stations. He
A
been on
few.
a lot of networks. He has been at MegaFest, not just there, but speaking. Now you
Yeah.
know you got to be somebody.
Oh, that was an amazing moment.
So how did that
It
happen? Did
was.
he like reach out to you personally? Like, I want you to be a part of MegaFest. How that happen?
Well, this is what happened. I got contacted by his team, and this is what, maybe 2017 or something. And this was the last MegaFest. I didn't realize that was going to be the last MegaFest, but this one was in Dallas. I just so happened to meet him when he came to Detroit at a show. He was talking about his new book. I think it was Soar at this time. It was getting ready to come out, and so I'm like, y'all got to let me meet Bishop J because I'm about to speak at MegaFest next week. And so I happened to talk with him a little bit, and I was on his Potter's Touch, and he did an introduction. Dr. Eddie Connor's going to be speaking at MegaFest. I'm like, this man is saying my name. So I went to his birthday party in Dallas, and I mean, after MegaFest, and I'll talk about MegaFest shortly, but you got Kirk Franklin on one side, you got Emmett Smith on the other side, you got Devon Franklin on the other side. I mean, it's just, you got Charlie Wilson performing, you got Joe performing, and I think this might have been I don't know if this was his 60th birthday celebration. It was just amazing. You got Sarita there, First Lady Sarita Jakes. I think some of his children there. It was just a star-studded event. And I'm like, I'm in a room with these people. You know what I'm saying? It's just amazing. But I spoke at MegaFest, and I had about 2,000 people in my session. And I'm backstage, and I'm getting ready to look. I'm looking through the curtain. I'm like, I ain't never spoke to this many people at one time in my life, and I'm feeling imposter syndrome. And I'm feeling real straight scared, not scared, scared. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, I don't think I can do this.
Uh-huh.
And then I'm like, I better do this. They flew me from Detroit to Dallas,
Uh-huh.
and I heard God speak to me and just say, everything that you went through prepared you for this moment. And I went out there like a one-man wrecking crew, and just did my thing, and just let God have his way. And the people were just totally empowered. People I still talk to this day, still talk to this day because of that session. But it was just an amazing moment for me to use my gift, to share my testimony and my story. And I think I brought 500 books with me that day during that weekend. And I'm like, I don't know how I'm going to sell this many books. I got Joseph Prince, who's on TVN next to me. I think it was Paula White over there. On another end, it was other preachers and speakers and notable people. I'm like, I'm just a kid from Detroit, and people just gonna be walking past my table. Let me tell you this. I left there with no books. No books.
Praise the Lord.
I outsold many of the people whose name is bigger than me.
Wow.
And his team was like, how in the world did you sell all these books? Because I wasn't as known as they were. So I was basically a no-name compared to them. And I just said, hey, you know what?
God did
The
that.
grace of God, but also I'm from Detroit. I know how to hustle. I know how to hustle. I said, I'm not about to ship these back with UPS and spend more money. I said, I'm about to sell these things. And it just showed me that, I could really hold my own despite whoever's around me or whoever's name may be bigger than mine. A lot of times we get so self-conscious about that. Just got to be you, and the right people are going to gravitate to you and your voice and your persona. You're not for everybody. And you got to understand that,
Yeah,
you got to be cool with that too.
absolutely.
Yeah.
You can't go wrong with sunshine though.
Everybody wants some sunshine. Everybody loves the sunshine. Is that what the song says?
And listen, they moved to California and Florida
Yeah,
for the what?
for the sunshine. That
Okay.
weather. Yeah, that's
I'm
true.
just saying. Um, so we've seen you on some of the Steve Harvey TV show, Tom Joyner show, Mega Fest. We saw you in the movies, in the documentaries. And as always, as I go back to Moses, and I keep hearing this about you, it's like he parted the Red Sea for you.
Mm,
Even when you doubted, even when who me, yeah, you. Even in on this side, on the left side, and on the right side, and Pharaoh behind you. He said,
yeah.
look, stand still and see the salvation of the Lord.
Come on now.
And that's the story. It's in the book. One of the most popular stories in the book. Why? It's called confidence. You're not talking about your own confidence, it's the confidence in God. He'll never leave us nor forsake us, never put us in the wrong situation. We just got to trust him.
That's right.
Now, you have been walking in the promised land, in the land of Canaan, the land of milk and honey. You done
Yeah,
sold 500 books. You have been in places that most people would dream to be in, not only representing the city of Detroit. Survivor of stage 4 cancer.
yeah.
And you still got more to do.
Lord have mercy.
Hmm?
Yeah,
And I opened up the show and said, you make it look so easy.
yeah. I did hear that. Yeah, yeah. I said, boy, you don't know the half.
But see, I said, you make it look. I ain't say
Yeah,
it
right.
was easy. I said,
I,
you make it look
gue-
easy.
I guess I'm doing it right if I make it look easy.
I'm just saying.
Yeah,
I was saying off camera, I'm like, I met you before. I've actually
right,
bought one
right.
of your books. And I'm
Mhm.
like, wow, for me, it's the moment of I can sit down and talk with anyone, even Oprah herself. I'm not intimidated. I'm not scared. And you prestigious. Do you hear me?
You far too kind.
You special. And you got doctor in front of your name. And I thought it
Yeah,
was so a blessing that I had 2 doctors on in 1 week.
ain't that something?
God is funny. He really is. Um, I've had an awesome time with you. We done chopped it up like I was living right next door to you. Which makes people
Right,
understand
right.
that you're human, um, and that you're approachable. Because some people get to a status and they're not approachable.
Hmm.
And I was very glad that you took my invitation to have this wonderful conversation. I was wondering how this was going to go, but God never gives me the precursor to what's going to happen. He just say, "Show up. I got the rest." I told you before, whatever God wants to do, I'm I'm just here.
Yeah. Well, you
Uh,
showed up and he showed out.
I'm just saying, it happened.
Yeah.
Um, I do have a little bit more questions. So,
Okay.
what is something that people will be surprised to know about you?
That I'm related to Prince. My mother's first cousin is Prince. My grandmother and Prince's father, brother, and sister.
What?
Purple Rain, Prince.
What?
Yeah.
We didn't read this in the book nowhere.
It's in one of the books. It's in one of the books. Yeah. Yeah.
So you mean to tell?
Sadly, we had to speak at the funeral. My mother died for him in Minneapolis, but yeah.
Uh, wait. Oh, this is really. I'm gonna have to find
Yeah.
out how you do cut the thing and put a reel up. Like I'm talking to somebody related to Prince, and
Yeah.
I'm blasted
Yeah.
all on social media. Are you
Yeah.
kidding me?
No.
Well, that is a first. I am.
Yeah.
Ooh wee. God, you funny. When I tell you he be bringing the best, he be bringing the best. Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, okay, going back to, okay, thank you, Jesus. So, going back to music, right?
Hmm.
If you can do a collab with someone, right?
Oh. Yeah.
Who would you do a collab with, dead or alive?
Oh, I've never been asked this question before.
I know.
A collab.
A
So
collab.
you say for me to do a collab, you got to think I got some musical gift in me then.
What is what is you saying? What?
um, Phew, boy, that's tough. Um, I would say somebody like Marvin Gaye, Stevie Wonder. Um, yeah. Um, Boy, Prince.
Of course.
I
Of course.
would. I probably wouldn't have to do much. He plays everything.
Right. Everything.
He plays everything. Um, and maybe let me go gospel on it too. Um, John P. Key.
Mm.
John P. Key, man. That as a kid, me listening to John P. Key's music, it was like the gospel James Brown. Him doing all the hiccups and the
Yes.
band. I mean, he's a musical genius.
Yeah. Um,
Yeah.
I actually Stevie Wonder by far, he's not underrated, but
Yeah.
he's definitely a musical genius. I literally
Hmm.
sung Ribbon in the Sky to my husband at our wedding.
Wow.
Um, and he crosses over generations.
Yeah.
My parents sung the same song to each other at their wedding. Um,
Mm.
and any road trips, it was them, it was him, Earth, Wind and Fire, Patti LaBelle,
Mm.
um, Commodores, um, Whitney, and probably some more. But music just transcends so much.
Yeah.
And to speak of the moment of when you're chosen, just going to the audit. Speaking of, you ever heard of Perilous Times?
Yeah. Yeah. I heard of that. The theatrical play. Yeah.
So I don't know if you know this, but I'm actually part of the chorus.
Really. I was about to say, don't tell me you're part of it.
I am. Um, so, and I'll talk about that in a minute. But even when going to the auditions, I'm in the room full of gifted and talented people from the city of Detroit, well known gospel artists. And I was the second in the audition to sing. There's one person went before me and she tore the house down.
Mm.
We can hear her in the hallway. And I'm number two. And I said to myself, you want me to do what? after her, what could I possibly do? And the lady said, be you. You don't know what they're looking for.
That's good.
Do your best. That's all you can say. That's all you can do. That's all you can ask for. And at the time, my hair was green. So I go in, and the two producers of the show were, okay, tell me about yourself. Do this, do that. I sung a song they never heard of. So I'm thinking, strike one. I sing this song, and they was like, oh, you sound so good. Yeah. Can you showcase your range? I didn't practice that. Well, do the same song. Go up. They had me sing 6 octaves higher than I normally sing.
Oh my.
And I'm like, I didn't practice that. I sound horrible. This is in my voice cracking and all this. That's like, you did good. But I want you to know you can do better. And I'm
Mm.
like, you have been doing things beneath your potential. So I thought that was negative. Why am I saying this?
Mm.
Because sometimes to somebody else, if you haven't had the trained ear, you would think something positive is something negative.
Right, right.
Well, a month went by. I got a letter saying, congratulations, you made the chorus.
Mm.
I was not expecting that. I was okay with saying I auditioned. The guy
Right,
said,
wow.
nope, you out the boat
Think
now.
bigger. Yeah.
I don't see a
Time to
boat no
walk on
more.
water. Mm.
I'm swimming. How deep you want to go?
Yeah.
The boat don't exist. So, doctor, what's the next plan?
Well, the next plan for me, I'm working on a few projects now. Gonna be releasing my 15th book soon. So in the next few months, it'll be coming out. Um, just doing, staying on the grind with the speaking, but really rolling up my sleeves, engaging the community even more. So, especially on the east side of Detroit, there's a lot of work that we need to do, a lot of lives that we need to touch. And so, been in these schools, I was just speaking at Cass Tech University to a lot of young, bright minds over there, and empower them to choose excellence over excuses, and to persevere by any means necessary. And then also, our Eagles Academy is a community that I've really built. We've had so many great individuals who are part of our sessions. We do it every single Wednesday night, 7:30 p.m., where I'm teaching and empowering on how to take your ideas to income, increase your ideas, your influence, your income, and your impact. And so we do that through God, Goals, Gifts, Greatness. People want to be a part of our Eagles community. All they have to do is go to www.theeaglesacademy.com, and they can really be a part of an enriching community that's all about transparency and truth, and really empowering you to get the best out of who it is that you are. I really believe somebody's waiting on you to become who you are so they can become who they're supposed to be. And so, our Eagles Academy is going to empower you to spread your wings, soar into success and purpose.
Wow. Did I get that
Yeah.
right? Let me see. Is that
Yep.
right? The
Yep.
Eagles.
EaglesAcademy.com.
Okay.
Yep.
So, I want to make sure that everybody gets this information. He is Eddie Connor Jr. on Facebook, Twitter,
Yes.
and IG. If you want to
Yep.
follow, support him. He is one of our own. We can claim him. I do.
For sure.
Um, from the city of Detroit who's doing wonderful and awesome things in our community and around the world. He is internationally on purpose because that's where he
Mhm.
comes from. So again, this is major. This is real major. A few announcements. Govern yourself accordingly. So in October of last year, I was able to um, publish my first single book called The Blueprint
Congratulations.
Guys Design. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Yeah.
It is out on Amazon right now. Basically, God told me that um, you're going in the wrong direction, and that's why you are frustrated. You're trying to do my job, and I need you to
Mm.
sit down and reset. So I didn't have a choice. So in those moments of me redefining God's way is how I'm telling you how to get back to the blueprint. You can't build nothing forward if you don't have a blueprint.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's a thing.
That's awesome.
Um, if you want to continue to have the lights on and help me to continue to move forward in my endeavors, my Cash App is here at $ Sunshine Camila, Kamilah. That is how you spell my name for real. But however, we keep the lights on. You can do all of that. Um, my special friend Alita Cotton does awesome ginger and turmeric teas, and when I tell you, I get them at least twice a week,
Mm.
and they're awesome. Um, her tea line, the company's name is AC's Teas. 313-380-0321. She would be lovely and happy to hear from you guys. And she's on Facebook at AYECEE. Reach out to her. And last but not least, I hinted at it. So April 6th through the 8th. Are you listening, doctor? I hope you're not.
That
I hope you're free. April 6th through 8th. I will be on the on the Fisher stage.
Oh, perilous
Yes,
times. Come
sir. We
on.
ain't playing. At the theater, Perilous Times. This will be the last for Detroit. This has been a Perilous Times have been in production for 30 years. And this will be the last one in Detroit. They're probably talking about going on the road, going to Broadway itself, or going to city. Just, keep your eyes open and your eyes open, ears open. Tickets are on sale right now at BroadwayInDetroit.com. We are looking to sell out Friday, Saturday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday in the city. Okay. Um, Last but not least, Dr. Eddie Connor, what do you got to say to the people? What do you have to say?
Listen, definitely want to say thank you for the opportunity to have for the invitation to share on the conversation and really speak truth to power and empower the peoples. What it's all about. So, I definitely appreciate you for allowing me the space and place to be able to share and just empowering people as well to make this the year. I believe 2023 is your Psalm 23 year. Goodness and mercy are going to follow you. God is going to elevate you and take you to the next level. But you got to remember that He's your shepherd. And the Lord is not a goat herder like on um, Coming to America. The Lord is not a cattle driver. He's a shepherd. So you got to stay close to the shepherd. And He's going to give you everything that you need. He's going to take care of the desires of your heart as well. And so keep leading, keep succeeding, keep going and growing. Better is ahead for you.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I can shout on that one too. So, before I take my leap, before I run around the church, again, this is a great conversation. Again, we like, share, and subscribe to all the social media. Find him out. Invite him. Um, support everything that he's doing. Like I said, this is international as well as locally. We want to see him and continue to see him succeed. Again, we believe in 6 degrees of separation. You're literally one person away, one advice away, one help away from where you need to be in your destiny. It's been proven over and over again since we started this show. Again, I will be back on in April. Nope, March 31st is my
Mm.
next one. We have practice. I had to cancel shows because of Perilous Times is in 2 weeks. So again, keep us in your prayer. Again,
Yeah.
share about Perilous Times. We want to sell out on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, April 6th through the 8th. Um, go to your BroadwayInDetroit.com or go to the Fisher Theater in the box office. Again, thank you, Dr. Eddie Connors, for the many laughs, the many smiles, the wonderful education that you have given to us. And again, I look forward to seeing you on screen. I look forward to seeing you in books, and I look forward to seeing you in person. Again, see ya.
Peace and love.